Forbearance numbers are lower than expected. Hi, I'm Scott Neal, the broker of Scott Neal Real Estate in Richardson, Texas, and we help people buy and sell homes in and around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And when the pandemic happened, a lot of housing experts were really concerned that the number of forbearances were going to continue to go up, thus resulting in a lot of foreclosures hitting the market. And if a lot of foreclosures hit the market, ultimately people were fearing that we were going to see a huge housing crash just like we did in 2006, 7, 8, and then the preceding years after that. However, once you look at some of the data, that really seems to be unlikely. So as the Deputy Chief Economist of First American says, despite the federal foreclosure moratorium, there were fears that up to 30% of homeowners might require forbearance, ultimately leading to a foreclosure tsunami. However, forbearance did really not hit 30%, but rather it peaked at about 8.6%. So almost 4 times less than what was originally predicted. Also, according to the most current data from Black Knight, the percentage of homes in forbearance has now fallen to about 7.4%. And so the decrease in raw numbers has been that another 71,000 forbearances have gone away just over the last week, pushing the total number of forbearances to under 4 million. Here's a graph showing the decline in forbearances over the last several months. The number of mortgages in active forbearance is decreasing, and the Black Knight report also explains that across the board, overall forbearance activity fell with 10% fewer new forbearance requests and nearly 40% fewer renewals. So an interesting question to ask is, well, what about all of the potential foreclosures that might come into the market after the forbearance period ends? Once forbearance ends and the banks now take a look at that, will they have to start taking foreclosure to the next step once all of those forbearances end? I mean, once people become that far behind on their mortgage, won't the bank have no choice but to just foreclose? Well, once you really understand the data, there's 2 main reasons why that's really unlikely to happen. First of all, the housing market is a lot stronger today than it was a decade ago in the 2008 to 2010 time period. And so people have a lot more equity in their property right now. Demand is at an all-time high and interest rates are really low. So even if a bunch of new people came into the market, there's enough demand out there to satisfy all of the listings that would come on the market. And then the second reason is because this whole pandemic and economic shutdown has disproportionately affected people who are working in the service industry, and more of those people actually rent than own. So we might not see a whole lot of foreclosures come to the market just because of those 2 main points right there. However, there is one challenge that we do need to take into consideration, and that's for people who are in trouble right now paying their mortgage. They might not realize that they have a couple of different options instead of just not paying the mortgage and letting their home end up being foreclosed. One is forbearance. If you're having trouble paying your mortgage, you need to talk with your mortgage company to see if there is a forbearance program available for you. If there's not a forbearance program made available to you, then there might be a way for you to be able to modify your loan, refinance your payments through a loan modification. Of course, if you're back to work now and you just need to make up, there's a possibility that you might be able to go ahead and refinance. Of course, if you've got no other option but you just have to get out of your house, you probably will be able to sell it if you've got enough equity. So there are definitely more options for you available before you have to go to foreclosure. Foreclosure is the absolute last thing that you want to try to do with your house once you've exhausted all other potential remedies. So bottom line is the market right now and the economy as a whole is doing way better than we thought was going to happen back in April and May. And if you're thinking about Buying a home now is a really good time with these low interest rates. And if you're thinking about selling your home, especially if you're in danger of becoming behind on your mortgage, if you're already behind on your mortgage and you don't want to face a foreclosure, you've got to give us a call today. Call us at our office. Our number is 469-998-3322, or visit us on our website at mydallashomefinder.com. We look forward to working with you soon. So thanks and happy selling.